benevolent, the most merciful. So, hello everyone, welcome to another lecture. From egoic nobility to divine royalty. And so I find myself in this moment not here to teach anyone anything. I am more an observer, and in some sense wondering about how what I observe falls into what is real to me. And so there is a view on reality I have where the notion of egoic nobility and the notion of divine royalty means something. You see, the craziest, not craziest, but one of the most intense things you come to terms with is that you have, from the beginning of your life, subconsciously accepted the unknown. Human beings are creatures that are very strange. They did not create their world, yet they live in this world as if they have created themselves. You know, this world, it's as if something that is deep and layered, and the layers unlock as you live it. And so there are days where you get tired and you need to look at it all again. So when it comes to the ego, let's talk about that first. The ego in some traditions, Eastern traditions, is seen as a bad thing, People have had issues with the ego, and what that means is they've had issues with how they've been an idea in a moment. You see, on some level, you're looking at an existential place. Let me change the song actually. On some level, you're looking at this place where there is movement, really. Okay? And the question is of how things move, and when they move, how are they maintained, or how is it seen? For example, I'll say it this way. What I mean by egoity is that it is no question beings in this realm are positioned. There's positions, and similar to a sort of militaristic, there is a ranking system here, folks. Okay? There's deeper dimensions to the self. The human has made contact, or primarily has access to 2 out of 3 levels of being. The third level is a different reality. So I am here to tell you that level 1 is very basic. This is where everybody finds themselves. You're an existential human. Okay? You're an organism. And in front of your eyes, what you find is a body that you're starting off from first person perspective. You move this body, and when you pay attention to existence, you notice the solidity of it. Okay, so level 1, you are this solid thing in this solid place, and when you look at existence is not just in some sense dimensions of space, but there is also time, there's also form and design. The most incredible thing, the leading part of my life, is not the existence, the unseen, mysterious, and all of that. It is here now. Level 1 is, to be honest, strange. It is like content that was generated from outside of your being. Okay? Now, level 1 is existence, the existential thing. Okay? Everybody's in level 1. You've ever shaked somebody's hand, that's level 1. You've done a flip, you've climbed a tree, you ate food, that's all level 1. Okay? You know, even sex and all of this is all level one, regardless of how spiritual people think. That these are levels to reality. Okay, so keep in mind. Level one, it's an existential game. You're given a world. You didn't choose this world. It's given. Level one is given. Level two is very interesting because level two is the game of experience. Level one, you're playing an existential game. All right, how does existence work? What is existence? What am I in existence? What is existence? There is no, at this point, level one, there is no experiential justification yet. Level two, which most human beings in 2025 are functioning, is the level of the mind. It's the level of an experiential game. So you're not just existing there. You are experiencing your existence in a way that allows you to move. That means level one was acknowledging reality as a sort of form of noun. Okay, it's like, yeah, man, the world's here. I'm in the world. I'm physically here. All right, every physical thing that's here, you know. Then we go. I'm trying to explain to you, level one is the level of the body. Most people are functional in this area, right? Then we have level two, which is the level of the mind. This is where reality is not a noun, it is a verb. You start noticing motion, you start noticing it's not just how something is existing, it's how that force has traveled the form, you know, traveled as a form in reality. That means existence has its own history of existence. We have the realm of the body. What are you going to do as a physical entity here? We have the level of the mind. What are you doing here as a psychological entity? When I see most human beings, it's like I don't have access to what's behind their eyes, but it's very clear to me that reality translates to them in a certain way, and then out of what they see, they want a condition. Human beings are of its condition, and therefore is wondering about its true nature. Level one is being responsible for your objective reality. Level two is being responsible for your subjective momentum of your objective reality. The body is living a life in front of your eyes. This is verifiable. You are living an inner life behind your eyes as a mental being, which tends to come into the form of a character in a story, but in actuality, what you are behind your eyes is is not a form, it's the awareness to form. Level 3 is about the life of that awareness, realizing beyond a conditional language or a conditional identity. So think of it this way, there's different aspects to you, different dimensions to you, different layers to you. In some of these dimensions and layers, it's conditional, so therefore it can have logic. It's like saying, yo man, what's the logic of a shapeless moment, right? So whenever you see shape, you have access to shape. Reality is shaped. But when it comes to more of your inner life and then the awareness to both your inner and outer life at the same time, that is an intelligence beyond shape. So the human intelligence is utilizing shape, but the other side of the coin is there. Do you understand? That means we are not just living in the physical aspect of existence. Do you understand? Just because the space does not have shape doesn't mean it does not have value. Do you understand? It's the question of value. What are human beings doing on a planet? They're searching for the ultimate value. Every person I've seen, they're taking orders from their future self. Do you understand? Everybody's trying to live for their own future. They've put a bunch of beings on a rock which appears at first as a rock in the middle of nowhere. These beings are tripping. They started telling stories to calm down, and now that they've calmed down, they're beginning to realize that the story does not satisfy the actual presence of how reality is happening. You see, you are within a world where even the non-religious astronomer and astrophysicist, they tell you that there's the unobservable. So you see, theism believes in a higher power that is within the unobservable. Theism believes in the higher power of the unknown, as the unknown is what the unknown holds is the presence of the higher power. But for the atheists, the unknown is as far as they go. So pretty much humans are divided between, is it an empty place? Is it an unknown place? Or is it a divine place? Okay? And a person who comes and talks about egoic nobility, like how can the ego be noble? It's like this, guys. It's like the ego is like walking. It used to be a big deal when you didn't know how to walk. Okay, and then after you learned how to walk, you don't think about walking. Do you know what I mean? You don't think about, all right, right foot in front of left foot. It becomes automated. We're reaching that era where to be an ego has become automated to the degree that we think we are it. It's like the person's worn a hat every day to the degree that they're wearing it all the time. And if you ask him, who are you? He'll be like, I'm a man wearing a hat. The hat has become part of the identity. Part of being okay, let me say it this way. There was this poet by the name of Rumi. He said, your task is not to search for love. Your task is to get rid of all the barriers you have made against it. Similarly, folks, it's not that you got to be a specific ego and do a specific thing and then, the solution's there. It's more like you open your eyes in this world and there's two routes. What am I? What am I not? Okay? And you wonder about these. You wonder about what you actually are and what you aren't. And something about that is that what remains tends to be concluded as what we are. That means, like right now, my body is here. Okay? Do you know, and even when I close my eyes and open the world you're in. Okay, now this can get more mysterious. I mean, if you were sci-fi, because I'm Muslim, I have a simpler outlook on this, but if you were sci-fi, it would be a sort of notion of like, are you stuck in the wrong timeline? Do you know? Or in some sense, could the soul have infinite lives, and in some sense having made or a wrong detour? Like that's the, I mean, I don't have that view actually. My view is that there's a system, there's a command center to existence. Okay, that's the divine, that's divinity, and God is the main command of reality. I don't believe we are in a world, we are in a commanded universe. To be free from from being commanded into a simulation is to be released by the higher power's command. So in reality, the game of this life, for most people, it's ego driven. It centers around themselves. The human being is born living, going through a cycle of self obsession. And if you are lucky, at some point in this life, you will begin to notice more than yourself, and then you will begin to notice how many different senses of self there could be. Do you understand? It's like looking at yourself, looking at a mistake you've made in the past, and then after you made it like a while back, while later you were like, yo man, I could have done something else, right? And then realize that if you knew this back then, you would have had a different destiny. But in reality, in any moment we can make a decision. We can make any decision. You see, to me, free will is even fascinating here. Why? Because isn't it weird? Isn't it weird that we didn't create the world, we didn't create ourselves, and the free will is to select out of a multiple choice. Do you understand? Free will is really weird. It's free in a certain condition.